when I see happening in my backyard, I get fired up. No, you don't tell me to calm down. This is my time. I get to speak.
You have to have a decorum.
I do have decorum. This is my free speech, and you can't stop it.
Yeah. Well, as long as you use.
Oh yeah, you're gonna keep interrupting my time. It's my time.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So why don't you tell him what the conforming use is? Because you know you live in an area where you should understand farms. It's not just simple. You can't just say, "Oh, you can't do that." So now we can't grow certain crops which take a certain amount of time to grow? How silly do you have to be in your head to understand that the red tape of frickin' local government doesn't work with everyday stuff? Listen to the residents here. They're not stupid.
Hello, Dwayne Whitmer with Acting Out Media here. Today's video takes us to Lewiston, New York, a small town in Niagara County, New York, located within minutes of the Canadian border. This video is from a public hearing on a moratorium for special use permits held on December 8th, 2025. In this video, the Niagara Pumpkin Farm feels they are being unfairly and unjustly targeted by this moratorium as they're the only business that is being told they need to apply for this special use permit. Yet now the town is pulling the availability of special use permits. A full video on our coverage will come out within the next few days. This is a video that covers the public hearing that was held and clips that pertain to this hearing on the moratorium.
Notice of public hearing, Town of Lewiston Town Board. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held in the Town of Lewiston, Niagara County, New York, on the 8th day of December 2025, commencing at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall, 1375 Ridge Road, Lewiston, New York, on the adoption of a local law number 2 of 2025, a 6-month moratorium on the processing of applications and approvals for site plans and special use permits relating to seasonal uses, seasonal events, and attractions in all zoning districts by the Town of Lewiston Planning Board. Said law is intended to provide time for the Town Board of the Town of Lewiston to research and adopt a new law to more efficiently regulate applications for seasonal uses, events, and attractions within the Town of Lewiston. The complete text of said law is on file at the office of the Town Clerk and is available for review by any interested person during business hours. At such public hearing, all persons interested or who wish to be heard will be heard. Dated November 25th, 2025, by order of the Town Board of the Town of Lewiston.
Thank you. Okay. We have 10 people that have signed up to speak. Everybody will have 3 minutes to speak. I just want to remind everybody, this is on the moratorium for special use permits. It does affect Pumpkin Farm, but it's not about the Pumpkin Farm. So if we could talk about the moratorium, you know, please do so. So with that, Andrew Davis.
Good evening, Andrew Davis, 5300 Town Line Road in Sanborn. I've addressed the council many times in the past concerning citizens respecting the town code and the zoning laws. We're at this point now because the residents at 5368, and I'm sure others, have proceeded to erect buildings, put in sidewalks, do things that would normally require a special use permit and a variance if it's in violation of town code. So I'm here to support this new law and hope everybody becomes a law-abiding citizen and obeys the town code and the zoning laws. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hannah Davis. I'm sorry, state your name and your address when you get up, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
My name is Hannah Davis. I live at 5330 Town Line Road, Sanborn, New York, next to the 5368 property. I'm here tonight to tell you that, yes, I am the neighbor that everyone points their finger at, which is not true. There are 18 parents, 18 residents that live around across the street over on Ridgeman Road that are against you.
Quick, address the board, please.
Yes. all stating that they want it all returned to the quiet, peaceful properties we used to have before the Kings moved in. I support this local law, and I would like it to be put into regard of the neighbors, because the neighbors are all concerned, they are disrespected, and we want our land and our privacy, most of all, our privacy back. Thank you.
Kyle King.
Good evening. My name is Kyle. I'm the owner of Niagara Pumpkin Farm. I do have a quick question for the board. First and foremost, I'd like to know, how often do you hold public hearings on the night of a work session? Is that normal?
Yes.
Yes?
Work session or a regular board meeting.
Okay. Town of Lewiston Board, I'm here today to express my serious concerns regarding the proposed moratorium and special use permit and site plans, which threatens my ability to plan for another upcoming season. During the November 24th meeting, it was evident that this moratorium is closely tied to my farm's operations, a fact acknowledged by local news, community members, and even attorneys. Following that meeting, your town attorney, Mr. Bax, assured my attorney that that moratorium was not intended to hinder my application. However, the references made during the meeting on the 24th suggest otherwise, indicating that my business is at the center of this proposed freeze. I'd like to clarify a factually inaccurate claim made by the town attorney, the building inspector, and Supervisor Broderick. My farm is not an unconforming use, and I am not operating illegally. Under section 360.49 of Lewiston Town Code, it explicitly permits agriculture, including farms and related operations, which I fall into. I am not considered a farm market, which your building inspector believes I am. Furthermore, during 2022 court proceedings, Town Judge Sheeran and your code enforcement officer confirmed that my operations are permitted within agricultural district, with the judge stating your neighbor is just going to have to deal with it. My farm aligns with the definitions of agriculture as defined by New York State Department of Ag and Markets, the Safety and Agricultural Tourism Act 2017, various ag and markets guidance documents classify pumpkin farms and similar activities, including hay rides, as recognized agritourism uses. These activities are integral components of modern agriculture operations, not merely entertainment businesses as you guys believe. Under Agriculture and Markets Law 305A, municipalities cannot adopt or enforce zoning laws that unreasonably restrict or unreasonably regulate farm operations within certified agricultural districts, imposing a blanket moratorium that prevents me from applying for approvals when the town rewrites the rules is a clear example of such unreasonable restriction. Unfortunately, for the past 3 years, I have faced targeted and inconsistent treatment from this town, negatively impacting both my farm and construction company. A prime example from last summer involves my application for a single deck permit through my construction company, where I was told my plans were inadequate and that I needed to hire an architect. I complied, but in the meantime, I contacted another local building department and confirmed my drawings met New York State codes. When I contacted Tim to ask him about the calculations again, he assured me that they were wrong and it's not my job to help you do your job. The following Monday, I called the building department while Tim was on vacation. Your secondary building inspector, Ed, reviewed the exact same plans and said, Kyle, you're good to go. I did the calculations and everything adds up. Come get your permit. This pattern of inconsistent standards, unnecessary delays, and roadblocks appears to be uniquely affecting my business. Additionally, I would like to mention that my permit for my addition to my own home is still being processed because my property is not in compliance, yet I still have not been informed why. Furthermore, the town's previous attempt to remove my parcel from Ag District without my knowledge was ultimately rejected by...
Wrap it up. You can stick to the moratorium. Wrap it up.
I'm gonna my father's gonna forfeit his.
No, that's not allowed.
It is allowed.
Okay, no, it's not allowed. You have 3 minutes for you to speak.
He's
So,
gonna forfeit his time.
Do you have a copy for us? Or look at
Oh,
it?
yeah, but I wanna read it on the record.
Okay, well, your time is up. If he wants to finish reading what you want to read, go ahead.
Yeah,
If he
please.
wants to finish what you read, that's fine, so,
Right here.
thank you. State-
Ron King,
Yep,
5404 Town Line Road.
okay.
Furthermore, the town's previous attempt to remove my parcel from the agricultural district without my knowledge was ultimately rejected by Ag and Markets Board, highlighting the protections I am entitled to under state law. These procedural delays have real financial repercussions. Last year, unnecessary obstacles caused me to lose my entire first weekend of sales, the busiest weekend of our season. Farms operate year-round, and a successful harvest depends on stable planning and operations. I cannot sustainably run my farm when rules change each season or when my operations are threatened by unfounded complaints or rules. I also want to address repeated claims that my farm does not meet safety requirements. If these claims are accurate, it would be concerning that a member of this board permitted their 16-year-old child to work on my farm last fall. We follow safety regulations and comply with the Safety in the Agricultural Tourism Act. In September, we took every measure to meet the safety requirements requested by your building department, the fire inspector, and your attorney acknowledged in your October meeting. The accusations regarding unsafe conditions lack factual basis and appear to be attempts to damage our reputation. Moreover, I have observed a neighbor slandering my farm during public comment without correction from this board, which has fueled misinformation and contributed to the scrutiny and unfair treatment we are currently experiencing. I urge the board to put an end to this pattern. This proposed moratorium is neither neutral nor necessary, and it violates Agriculture and Markets Law 305-8. If the town seeks to revise its code in a way that supports agriculture, I welcome that dialogue. Many communities implement modified site plan reviews or agritourism specific provisions that facilitate rather than obstruct farm operations. I have engaged an architect and attorney in good faith to prepare the necessary plans and special use permit application and wish to proceed as previously discussed, even though existing codes do not require me to do so. Despite my efforts, I'm now faced with a moratorium that halts the very process the town indicated I should follow, and I supposedly have not followed. This is neither good faith governance nor transparent. It constitutes a pattern of obstruction. Your comprehensive plan commits the town of Lewiston to support agricultural and protect local farms. I urge this board to honor that commitment, comply with state law, and modify or reject this moratorium to prevent unlawful restrictions of established agritourism operations like mine. I'm proud to be part of Lewiston's agricultural community and wish to continue contributing economically, culturally, and historically to this town. However, I need the town to cease imposing unreasonable burdens on my ability to farm. Believe it or not, agritourism benefits the town in many ways, and I think it's time you look at that instead of holding a grudge against a law-abiding citizen because you simply dislike something good for this town. The community stands behind us for a reason. Thank you for your time. I'm open to discussion regarding any comments you have or questions.
Thank you. Do we have a copy of that? Have any copy of that?
Good job, Tom.
Cal, just give it to Bill Conrad. Thank you. Cheryl Lepsch, I'm saying that right?
Hi, I'm Cheryl Lepsch, and this here is a picture of my 8-year-old granddaughter this fall at the farm. And I have a couple questions for this council. When you are going to hold a meeting, a general meeting, to make a decision like this, how do you notify the public when? And isn't there supposed to be a certain amount of time that you notify them and places that you notify them? Via the newspaper, via 2 weeks notice? I don't think that the Kings would have known had I not read your last minutes that it stated, when this gentleman just read the minutes, he didn't put anything in there about the Niagara Pumpkin Farm, but it's in your minutes if you go online, that you specifically talk about them. I have to tell you, they are the hardest working family I have ever met. They worked so hard this year to get that farm up to what the standards were supposed to be that you asked for. But I can tell you, I reside not in Lewiston, I reside in the city of Tonawanda. In the city of Tonawanda, years ago, we had new apartments put on the river behind the police station. We had just 2 or 3 people, residents, who used to go to every meeting. And they wanted to put a gas station in at Tops. So that was on the meeting minutes that they were gonna be talking about. I happened to be at that meeting when they started to talk about it and we're gonna vote. And I said, time out. If you think 3 people, 4 people that are against putting that gas station in are all of the citizens of the city of Tonawanda, you're wrong. Give me 1 month and I will get you 500 at least. And I got 600 signatures from residents who were for the gas stations. And if you drive in the city of Tonawanda, those gas stations are there. They never caused a problem with the people there. They put the fence up. They have complied with whatever they have been asked to do. The amount of money they put in is absolutely sickening. And so I think all of a sudden you're changing your memorandum, whatever it is that they have to comply by, which you would not have done had it not been for the Niagara Pumpkin Farm. And,
Wrap it up.
okay, I want to know how many of you that are against the pumpkin farm have actually gone to the pumpkin farm and seen the work that they have done. Have one of you been out there? Has anybody? Because this is huge, this is major.
I can answer that question. There has been board members and there has been.
Okay, we're not gonna do it back and forth. Thank you very much.
I'm just asking,
Time's up.
can you answer that question?
I've never been there, but it's a back and forth. We're not gonna get into a back and forth. Thank you very much.
I wasn't going back and
Thank
forth, I just asked
Yeah.
how many members had actually gone
This
and
is-
seen it
This is a time for you to speak.
before they vote.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Capozzi? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the first name. Cosmo Capozzi.
Good evening, Honorable Board. Cosmo R. Capozzi, former building inspector, City of North Tonawanda, 23 years. Code enforcement officer from North Tonawanda, 23 years. Planning and zoning board advisor. I've written many zoning and codes. So I am on the end of the enforcement part. What I do not understand, or what I do understand, I should say, is that in all the rules and regulations I've ever written, forwarded to the council, got them approved, not a single one has been done retroactive. You approved the use of that farm. I've been there. You should go there. You should see the number of people that go there and enjoy it. I wonder what the financial impact is on the city, on the town, I'm sorry. But that was my job, to enforce the rules and regulations. So here you have someone who draws countless of people to your, to Lewiston. I've never been here. So as a rule enforcer, as a rule writer, rules are never, ever have been retroactive. You approved the gentleman's use of that property, by my understanding, last year. Well, you shake your head, but it was in operation this past year. So if you approved it, you cannot now come up with new rules and regulation retroactive. That is illegal. I'm an expert. I've been recognized as an expert by court of laws in Western New York. This is what I do as a gig. So I advise you to stick to the law and do not pass things that are retroactive. They will not hold up. Thank you.
Thank you. Dwayne Whitmer.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Living the dream.
Real quick, I know it's not a back and forth, but how many of these permits do you guys face on a year basis? Special use event permits. Do you know how many you guys do?
Oh, for events?
Yeah, like the moratorium you want to put on permits. How many do you guys get a year?
I believe the answer would be none.
So,
Correct?
no shit. All right, so I did some research. I did some looking. Someone reached out about the Kings and the Pumpkin Farm when you guys tried to shut it down the first time and failed. And what I saw was that they were open in 22. There were some issues with traffic and other problems, and they spent money to fix it. They were open in 23. There were some small issues, and they spent money to fix it. They heard the complaints from the people who weren't crazy and tried their best to fix the problems. And I was able to go there twice this year, and both times I had a great time. And when I was in line, now I am from Hamburg, and when I was in line talking to the people around me, other people came from all over Western New York. I have friends that travel an hour to come here to see this pumpkin farm. I mean, you're bringing people in from all over the place. If I was in your shoes, I would be ecstatic because it's a business that's not relying on corporate welfare. You're not buying a business to come here. They're putting their own time, their own money, their own effort into this business. And it's bringing people in, it's making you guys look good because as we know with the economy of Western New York, generally it's not doing great. Unemployment numbers and poverty numbers are above national average. New York State is one of the least business-friendly states in the nation. And yet you have a business that was able to thrive coming out of COVID. And it should be, you know, if I was in your shoes, I'd be ecstatic. But here's what I saw. I saw that they had goalposts consistently moved. They're told that on record, you guys said that they're not licensed in permit, but we have foils that show that they've pulled all the permits they needed and they have the licenses they needed. They're told they were pulled from the ag district, but the town doesn't get involved in pulling people from the ag district, but we have an email from the town to the ag district asking to pull them. All I've seen throughout all this is a targeted attempt to shut this business down. For what reason, I don't know. And now here we are with this moratorium, but my concern is, let's be honest, I know how politics works. You put a 6-month moratorium in, which means they can't apply until June. Then you kick it to July, and then you kick it to a meeting in August. Now here we are next fall, back to where we are, playing games on them, trying to rush in a time crunch to open. This looks like another chance to move the goalpost, to stall, to stop one business from operating, as evidenced by when I ask, how many special use permits do you get? And the answer is none. I mean, you can't say it's for not just one person, the only person that wants to apply for the permit. That's not how general logic works. It's pretty asinine. I really don't know.
Wrap it up, okay?
I'll wrap it up my best I can do. I don't know if it's incompetence, I don't know if it's negligence, and I don't know if it's just a mistake, I don't know if it's corruption, I don't know if it's greed. I don't know what's going on here, but I do see a targeted attempt to stop this business from operating. And I hope that intelligent people on the board wake up and realize you have an opportunity here most towns do not have, and do the right thing. If not, I'll end right here. Last thing I'm gonna say, you guys wanna do a revale. The experience I've had dealing with your town, this revale is gonna go terribly. I own a company that does property tax assessment challenges. You met my partner, you guys lost. We will come in here and we will kick the shit out of you guys when you do this revale. You will get sued, you will lose once again, you will look stupid. Please, do the right thing.
Thank you. Paul Suda.
Hi, I'm Paul Suit from Lockport Road. Anybody remember Lombardi's Dairy? Anybody here?
Yep.
You do, right?
Yep.
Okay, where is it? It's gone. Where's Roger Borgett's farm? It's gone. Where are all the other farms in your town? Gone. Cambria, Wheatfield, all over. That used to be the Bachman farm, and they had a ceiling business. I used to sell hay to those people when they had horses there, okay? I used to go down to this Farm and Home Center, sign up for programs, 50 years. I've been in farming for over 50 years. All the towns, Lewiston, Cambria, Porter, all over, Newfane. We own farms all over. I'm not the biggest farmer around, but basically I'm getting to be almost the only farmer around with about 20 of us in all of Niagara County. This young fella bought that piece of land and is trying to make a go of it on farms. That's wonderful. I had a son killed in 2004. he was gonna take over our farm. But unfortunately, he was killed by a drunk driver at the age of 21. So I don't have him around to take over the farm. So this young fellow, wonderful, wonderful taking over the farm. In 1978, I was the chairman for Ag District number 7 in our town, the town of Waechter. Me and 2 other farmers went around getting signatures to create ag districts. My cousin was the chairman of the Ag District in Cambria, to get ag districts in here to prevent what's going on right now. You people sit on this board from 1818, that's what it says when the town was created, okay? From then till now, look at how you've changed. You're forming little cities within these towns. Cambria, Wheatfield. Somebody wants chickens? Oh, you can only have 5, but no roosters, don't forget. And I said to one of the board members in Cambria, I said, I won't mention the name. Well, why can't you have a rooster? I waited for the outside. Well, you know Paul. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I can tell you one thing, your forefathers were farmers and they're rolling over in their graves. You're preventing farms to flourish back up. I would rather listen to a rooster crow all day than to hear a person's dog bark all day. But farms, how many farms are started in the town of Lewiston in the past 5 years? Don't think about the farms like me come from another town and are renting land and so forth, but actually started in your town. Will Ziemendorf is buying Ron and Lang Becken out this past year. Well, now he's selling beef out of his farm market up on Upper Mount Road. Have you guys decided to go down and check him out? Probably not. Is that legal with your town codes? Who knows? But I'm not whistleblowing on anyone. What I'm saying is, you're just making more and more zoning every day, every year, to hinder rural residential living and farmers. I got $5 a bushel for my wheat this week, but 50 years ago, I got $5 a bushel for my wheat. But yet my taxes 50 years ago on one farm was $695 total, school, county, town. Now I'm paying close to $7,000, but I don't get any other services. This has to stop.
Okay, thank you.
But one quick question. 3 minutes you give the people to talk, but you want a 6-month moratorium? Your attorney should have looked into this long time ago.
Charlotte Patterson.
Good evening. My name is Charlotte Patterson, 4611 Town Line Road. I am the owner of the Forsyth Tavern in Cambria, and I come here as a cautionary tale to what happens when you aren't kind to your farms in your town. The timing and reasoning of this proposed moratorium raise serious concern. So I'd like to ask the board to address the following questions clearly before a decision is made. Is this moratorium intended to directly impact the pumpkin farm? You said no. If the answer is no, then explain why is it being proposed right now? What specific part of the pumpkin farm's application process triggered the need to pause all special use permits townwide? Was it a procedural issue, a staffing issue, an internal mistake, or the town's own handling of this process? The public should know exactly what went wrong why a moratorium is needed or why it's a solution. What problem are you trying to solve? And why can't it be solved without stopping all special use permits activity for 6 months? Other towns update special use permit procedures without enacting full moratoriums. What makes Lewiston different? What specific changes are you planning for the special use permit process during this moratorium? Will applicants be required to pay more? Wait longer? My fingers aren't switching pages. 3 minutes is quick. Hire additional experts, undergo new steps and reviews, meet new standards beyond what ag and market laws allow. That's a crucial question. Farmers deserve to know what's coming. How does a moratorium align with your own comprehensive plan, which says the town of Lewiston supports agriculture as an important component of the town and should avoid policies that directly disadvantage farming? If a moratorium creates barriers for a farm currently operating under permitted uses in the rural residential district, How is that not a direct disadvantage? Have you consulted with New York State Ag and Markets about whether this moratorium violates protections for farm operations and agritourism? Yes or no? Why or why not? If your plan for rebuilding trust with the farming community, what is your plan for rebuilding trust with the farming community if this moratorium passes? Because right now the perception is that the town is trying to shut down a farm that this community overwhelmingly supports. I support safe operations and responsible oversight. I do not support unnecessary barriers, reactionary legislation, or government actions that appear targeted at a specific family or business. That is what we've experienced in the town of Cambria, and 400 residents showed up at the last local law hearing. I don't think that Lewiston wants to see that. Tonight I'm not asking for promises, I'm asking for answers. If this moratorium is justified, those answers should be easy to give.
Okay, with that, I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
At this point, the board did some normal business, which we have clipped out of this video, where the whole live footage can be viewed on their town website. We will now clip out irrelevant parts to the moratorium and get back within a few seconds here to where they vote on this moratorium.
Liaison report. I'm going to read a statement. First, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and participating, regardless of whether you spoke for this moratorium or against it. Your participation in this process is noted and appreciated. That said, I want to make clear why I will be voting to approve this moratorium. The town of Lewiston, like many towns in Niagara County, has seen an increase in seasonal attractions and limited time events. These events are a little different than standard businesses that run year-round. They have different challenges, from parking to sound and lighting and fire and safety concerns. And these seasonal events often pop up without first obtaining the proper permitting from the town. These events may have many supporters, but we have also received many calls from concerned neighbors that feel their quiet neighborhoods are suffering because of these events. With this moratorium, the town is just saying, hey, let's take a pause here so we can review and revise our local laws. Our attorneys are already working on new laws that will be designed to ensure that these types of events are conducted in a safe manner that won't unduly burden the neighborhoods where they operate. Again, the town wants to ensure that seasonal attractions have proper permitting and review guidelines to ensure safety and protection of the town. For now, we need to temporarily pause the permitting of these types of events while the new law is worked on. I anticipate the new law will be coming in the near future, and many of you will again have an opportunity to speak publicly about the regulations we will be proposing. I look forward to seeing you all then, but for now, I feel it is good government and the right thing to do to simply pause while we work on the new law. With that said, I would like to make a motion to approve Local Law 2-2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Councilman Jacoby?
Yes.
Councilman Morreale?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waechter?
Yes.
Supervisor Broderick?
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor, would you mind if I just made a quick comment?
Yes, go ahead.
So I feel like I'm a little bit responsible for bringing this down on the town board by mentioning Mr. King and his farm relative to this moratorium. I think all of the questions were very well thought out and put to the town board. None of them were out of line. What I would say is that the 6-month moratorium could certainly be seen or construed as an attempt to delay this issue for another 6 months, but is by no means the town board's intention. We've already started reaching out to New York Ag and Markets. One of the questions that was raised that I thought was very pointed was how many of these temporary uses has the town board seen, and the answer was none, and that's true. But the more important question is how many we anticipate receiving in the next years ahead. And the question comes is our town code adequate to address those? And the answer to that question is no. And so this is not a debate.
How many do you anticipate coming in?
Sir, you could laugh and be condescending all you want.
I will be.
The reality is we have a responsibility to address things responsibly when they come into the town. And the reality is of our town,
It's just so stupid. I'm sorry. Finish. I'm sorry, Elvin. I'm sorry, but it's comical at this point. I'm sorry, guys.
The New York State laws
Enough.
exist.
Let him finish. Let him finish. He deserves his time. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Al. Al, go ahead.
the point is that the town board is making a genuine effort to make sure that this is all in place at the time when Mr. King's application comes before the town.
My application was in September.
They had to
Yep.
sign an agricultural rider to live where they live in the
Okay,
agricultural
sir,
district.
we're not gonna go back and forth. You
Sorry,
can
I was
speak-
like, I didn't get a chance to
You can
sign.
speak at the end of the meeting. You
All
can speak
right,
at the end of the
sounds
meeting,
great.
okay? So Al,
I
thanks. We'll move
guess
on.
my point is I honestly do believe that the town board and my own effort is attempting to assist in the practical and the efficient processing of all of the things that we anticipate that the town is going to be facing. Again, ag and markets has a very different definition as to what is farming and what is entertainment. And again, there is a very, very clear line as far as they're concerned as to what is and isn't under their purview of regulation and what is and is not allowed. And I think as we go through this debate with ag and markets, we're going to learn both to the town's benefit and Mr. King's benefit what is and isn't protected.
I think they would have agreed.
And
I think they would have agreed to remove my parcel if it was not an ag district, or if it was not
You can speak at the end.
agriculture.
Al,
They would have.
thanks.
They would have agreed
I just
to
wanted to
remove
make
my
sure that the
parcel.
public,
Stop.
I wanted to make sure that the public
No.
record was
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
That's all.
Moving on, Mighty Niagara Half Marathon, we have a letter from Colleen Dario, the event specialist, to your Supervisor Broderick. Thank you for your continued support of the Mighty Niagara Half Marathon and the Hospice Dash 5K. We are already planning for next year, and we would like to request Saturday, October 3rd, 2026 for next year's race. We plan to keep the same route with our starting line at our park and post-race party at Quarter on the Lake. Our race director, Paul Beatty, and I would be glad to come and discuss the event if needed and answer any questions you might have. Our event continues to raise thousands of dollars for Niagara Hospice. It's becoming a must-run race in the area. We're looking forward to next year and appreciate your continued support. That's Colleen Dario, event specialist, Niagara Hospice. And do we need to make a motion for that, or is that just them notifying us?
That's all. They coordinate with the police department.
Okay.
Interesting point about this marathon that's being held next October. They would need a special use event permit to hold this event, yet the town board is not pressuring them to get a special use event permit, which, by the way, this moratorium prevents from happening. We will be foiling to see if the town has reached out and inquired about their permit, and we will reach out to the event organizers to see if they've been told they need a special use permit, or are they treated differently than the Pumpkin Farm.
Just to reiterate what I had mentioned at last meeting, our museum in Sanborn has their holiday party for children. That's this upcoming weekend, December 13th and 14th, 11 to 4 p.m. with Santa there each day from 12 to 3. They'll have different gifts for the kids, crafts, Santa store for shopping, and a basket auction.
Is there a special use permit? It's on the same thing, literally.
Enough.
Because we bring up a valid point,
And
and you guys
also
can't
on
answer it.
December 20th, they had the sing-along
Yeah, it's so funny, Bill.
at 2 p.m.
All night, all night.
Okay.
But it was okay for your son to work for me. That was all right.
Kyle, enough.
Another interesting point is that this event he is talking about is eerily similar to what the Niagara Pumpkin Farm does. A holiday event that's a couple nights a year in an area zoned agribusiness. We will be foiling the zoning of that event, whether or not that event was told they need a special use permit, and what makes that event not needing a special use permit any different than the Niagara Pumpkin Farm.
Okay, sir, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Do me a favor, just say your name and your address, please.
My name's Joseph Miller. I live at 5430 Ernest Road in Lockport, New York. Now, the whole reason I'm coming here is because farms are under attack, not just in this local municipality, all over the state and all over the country. And if you don't actually realize that, if you're just going to go based off what your lawyer is saying and not actually look up the law yourself, you're not doing your residents any due diligence. You say you have to do this moratorium because you want to incorporate the laws that are already in place at the county and the state level into your zoning regulations. Well, this moratorium is for non-conforming usage. He is in an agricultural district. So why can't you read the letter of the law and tell him, okay, well, this is a conforming use, this is not a conforming use. We can at least give you a permit for this stuff. But this stuff, nah, we're not quite okay with that because that's not farm. Because that's all in black and white in the law. If you specifically look at the Niagara County Agriculture and Farmland Protection Plan, which you guys are a part of and have incorporated into your comprehensive plan, it specifically states that special use requirement permits for certain types of farming would likely be unreasonably restrictive. The reason why you probably said this was awkward was because if anybody actually looks at the law and reads all of it, it's pretty black and white that you guys are so overstepping. And I'm sorry that I'm getting fired up. But I'm a disabled veteran at the age of 33. I had to go fight in fucking Syria. And when I see this shit happening in my backyard, I get fired up. No, you don't tell me to calm down. This is my time. I get to speak.
You have to have a decorum.
I do have decorum.
No, you have to
this
have
is my
decorum.
free
Yeah.
speech, and you can't stop it.
Yeah, well, as long as you use...
Oh yeah, you're going to keep interrupting my time.
Yeah.
It's my time.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So why don't you tell him what the conforming use is? Because, you know, you live in an area where you should understand farms. It's not just simple, you can't just say, oh, you can't do that. So now we can't grow certain crops which take a certain amount of time to grow? How silly do you have to be in your head to understand that the red tape of frickin' local government doesn't work with everyday stuff? Listen to the residents here. They're not stupid. Look at what's happening in Cambria. This movement is bigger than you. There's literally a court case that's trying to get pushed up to the Supreme Court because they're trying to say that farming is a constitutional right. Because look at what Tim Walz is doing. He's using the department down there to stop deer farming. If that happens, we're all fucked. And guess what? If you stop farming, it's all going to be solar farms. Because look at what happened with Cambria going up to the appellate court. You're not going to be able to stop them with your stupid zoning laws because you can't even enforce basic stuff that you can't even... Have you read your comprehensive plan? Probably not. So ORS is going to tell you, hey, you're not even following this most basic stuff that they already put in their state law. So if you can't follow their state law for their own agricultural district, you're screwed. Go ahead, make it solar. Then you get 600,000 people showing up to these stupid meetings because everyone will just go and get solar because there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Okay, with that, upcoming board commission meetings. Historic preservation is December 9th at 5:45 p.m. Zoning board is December 11th, 6 p.m. Planning board is December 18th at 6:30 p.m. Regular town board meeting, final audit and public hearing for local law 3-2025 will be on December 22nd at 6 p.m. Work session reorganization meeting is on January 5th. This will be the first Monday of the month, not the second Monday of the month. So our work session and reorganization meeting, the first meeting in January of 2026 will be January 5th at 6 p.m. With that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second. With a motion of second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for coming.